I found the fastest way how to become a full-time programmer, and all the advices you'll see in this video are based on my own experience. If you want to become a software developer, the first thing that you need to do, you need to decide on a job you want to get. Maybe you want to become a mobile developer to build apps for iPhones and Android devices, or you want to become a front-end developer, you want to work on building different websites. I mean, there are different options, and the earlier you understand what you want to do when you get a job, the easier it will be for you to understand what to learn right now. You will choose some specific language, some specific frameworks, technologies, and so on. Of course, before even starting that, you need to learn some computer science basics, common loop algorithms, data structures, search algorithms, big O, and many other useful things. Anyway, it doesn't matter if you have computer science degree or not, you will get sooner or later to that point when you need to decide. As I have already said, I will say it again, there are different technologies, different frameworks, different languages. That's why it doesn't matter if you learn everything yourself, or if you visit a boot camp, or you'll take some course. You need to make your choice first. And despite that learning is a big and important part of your way from zero to a full-time programmer, it's still just a first step. My name is Boris, I'm a software engineer from Tel Aviv. Do the next steps you will see in this video and you will become a full-time programmer. If you already feel more or less familiar with the language and the technologies that you have already learned, I think there is a time for you to build your own project. In my opinion, it's a must, and there are a few reasons for that. First of all, creating your own project is one of the best ways to learn to code, to master your coding skills, and to learn how to implement your ideas by using the theoretical knowledge that you have already got. Also, in my opinion, this is the most interesting and exciting part when you learn to code. Another reason why it's important to build your own project, because you need to have some coding experience before applying for your first job. So it already seems to be a kind of a chicken and the egg problem. And as you have already guessed, your own project will help to solve this problem. You can always tell your recruiter that you have already worked on a real project before. You can tell him that you have created this project for yourself, or maybe you tried to work as a freelancer and created this project for one of your clients. It doesn't really matter. Nobody will check it if you apply for a junior position. I will tell you even more, nobody will even check your project at all. The most important thing for recruiter is your knowledge. So when you come to your first tech interview, it's important to tell about your own project, about its architecture, design, technologies you used, the practical problems you solved. And if you created your own project yourself, it will be pretty easy for you to tell about all the stuff that you have already done and how the things work together. And this way, your recruiter can understand what your knowledge is. I'm putting this one as a step 3, but in my opinion, you may run step 3 and step 4 in parallel. I mean, at the same time. So we'll get to the step 4 pretty soon, but before that, I'm feeling that I need to tell you a couple of words about the job search. The biggest mistake every beginner makes is simply not applying enough. One of my friends once complained that he sent his CV to 10 or 12 companies and he didn't find a job. You know, I'm not surprised at all. As long as I know, according to statistics, only 10% of the companies get back to the beginners. So if you want to be invited to a tech interview more than once, you need to send your CV at least to 100 different companies. I'll say it again, 100. I know it sounds a lot, but every beginning is tough, and this is definitely that you should do. You may submit your CV through the website of different companies, or you may use LinkedIn or Glassdoor. In most of the cases, your recruiter will check your profile there, I mean on LinkedIn or Glassdoor. That's why your profile should be very well prepared and contain all all the relevant learning and working experience. If you submit your CV directly to the employers, I would suggest you to amend your CV every time you are sending it, so it will fit better to the position you want to apply. I'm not even saying that you should ask your friends if they are software engineers about open junior positions at their companies, or you may use different local Facebook group pages and so on. Just use your connections. This step is as important as learning or creating your own project, as you may learn a lot of different and useful stuff while preparing for your first interview. I know it sounds like a big cliche, but I definitely suggest you to read a very famous book called Cracking the Coding Interview. I think it's a great book because it helps you to understand the psychology of an interviewer. And also there are a lot of different and useful tech questions in the second part of the book. I've been to many interviews in my life. I think maybe not so many, but enough to understand that most of the questions that I've been asked are covered by the concepts described in this book. So it's definitely worth of your attention. Another thing I would suggest is doing the different coding exercises on the websites like LeetCode. Yes, I know, probably another cliche, but there are a lot of tasks there grouped by different levels of difficulty. Try to find a time slot for about an hour that you can use for such trainings on a daily basis, and there is a really big chance that you will have a similar question on your first interview. Also, when you've got an invitation to your first tech interview, you may search this company on the website called Glassdoor. Sometimes the users even leave there the questions that they were asked before, and you may easily find the answer yourself, and probably you will get the same question when you come to your first interview in this company. Finally, you made it to the last step, and I want you to understand pretty clear that if you are here, if you are already going to your first tech interview, you are already a winner. Trust me, not so many beginners succeed to make their way from zero to their first interview. There are a lot of people that actually fail while learning or creating their own project, or maybe preparing for the job interview, because there is a lot of work that should be done there on that steps. I see that some pretty talented people that even created a good project fail on a job search step because they feel very depressed every time when nobody gets back to them after sending another and another email with their CV. And now you're already here, you are going to your first interview, and that's amazing. And it doesn't really matter if you get the job or not, because with every interview you get more and more experience, you learn more and more stuff on the way, you practice your skills to present yourself, to present your work, you become more and more self-confident. You need to understand that it's not always to give the correct answers to the tech questions. Every interviewer usually tries to understand the way you think and tries to decide if you are that person that he wants to see every day in his office. So be professional, be yourself, believe in yourself, and watch the next video where I'm telling about the things I wish I knew when I started programming. See you in the next video.